I call this meeting of the Cumberland Parks Board. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Caitlin, can you do roll call?
President Curtis,
Here.
Vice President Johnson, here, Member Dirk,
Here.
Member Johnson. Here.
We have consideration of minutes from November. Everyone read the minutes. Are there any changes that need made? Do I have a motion for the approval of the November 2025 minutes?
Wait a second, did we start at 7 o'clock on last time? Yeah, okay, yes, so this is the first one that we're gonna try to go to 6. Gotcha, yeah. I make a motion to approve.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. We have no public comments tonight. We have the claims register. Does anyone have any questions?
Make a motion that we approve the claims register for November. Thank you.
Do I have a second?
What's that?
Is there any further discussion? Yes, I have one thing. Have we always paid for electricity for the farmer's market?
Yeah.
Because we don't control that. Isn't that a town item?
I'd assume that it was your portion of the electric bills for that.
Um,
I can double check, but
okay,
yes, it's always one slip out.
okay. Okay, we have, a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carried. Board report, Caitlin. Okay.
Staff has removed snow from the trails, staff has been using the trails, staff has been working parks and trails. Ben and I met with Joni to go over, new 2026 programming. Brian King is still working on concept drawings for Lions Park and plans to have a presentation ready for February. Staff are working with contractors to repair the solar system signage along the LED trails. I received confirmation from the Hancock County Community Foundation that our emergency signage order was received. Once those come in, staff will report back. Staff has reached out to ERNCO about solar powered lights for Lions Park, the Lions Park sign. I'm looking into e-bike policies in surrounding communities. In the new year, I will start overseeing park rentals. In January, staff would like to schedule either one-on-ones or a work session to discuss board member goals for 2026. I met with Broad Development and the attorneys as well as Ryan King to discuss the parking donation. We're to the point that they're ready for us to accept section 1 only. And I'm scheduled to meet with Skyhawks to go over the 2026 spring code
When you meeting with Skyhawks?
in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. Who usually oversees the park rentals? Is it just up front?
No, it used to be, well, right now it's, Hannah moves forward.
Okay. Is there a reason you're taking it over or just shifting?
I think it's just shift.
Okay,
And we're speaking of shelters on the park rentals, because we're not renting parks.
Yes, it's just, it's the shelter agreement. You guys have asked, to not allow.
and this is for you if you're looking into it. This is from, Indianapolis, Marion County, Southeast District Police. And this is what their rules are for the Monon Trail. So I think you might want to see that.
Yeah.
And they have I put the link on there. They have a really nice video about it.
Nice and easy to
Uh-huh,
talk about,
yeah.
easy to glance at.
This, I printed out, forever, it was, they were talking on Facebook about the trail with the snow on it. And everybody's like, oh, they did such a great job cleaning it off. And my son, I didn't realize until I was reading it, took a picture of the trail perfectly cleaned. So I wanted to give that to him, so he can show the guys.
I'll fit for Bella.
Okay. Redevelopment, planning and design. Lions Park. Oh, that was.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Today. Old business. Rainbow Bridge follow-up. So you saw kind of what my envision is. What do you think? This is really kind of your baby, and I kind of stepped over you.
You did not step over at all. You have presented some fabulous drawings, some renderings.
And I think, and like I said, it's mostly paint. There's not a whole lot that we have to do other than some signage and some sanding and scrubbing. So is this something that we don't have to vote on it, we're just gonna, yeah. Okay, so, do you want to get with Everett and start getting things together for spring maybe?
Sure. Are we painting this?
We can help, but I want Everett, I don't want to put the wrong paint on it. So I want Everett to lead the charge about what we're gonna do, and I want him to buy the paint and then we'll pay for it, but I think we should be painting it and doing as much as we can. That was,
My artistic ability to do that little swirl action will need some guidance. I can paint vertical.
all right, you can
I
do
got
the
vertical.
you can do the upright.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. All right,
So
so
wait, this doesn't need to be done before the end of the year, does it?
no. No, because we're not even gonna be able to paint it until spring, but it would be nice in, February or March to start getting the plan and the time down to do it.
And are we thinking both sides of the bridge or just one side of the bridge?
My vote would be both sides to make it look nice.
Thank you. I'm on the same page. And was there any chat with our police friends, with our?
Yes,
They will
Yeah.
love to do it.
Love it.
yeah, and I talked to Suzanne and she was like over the edge excited, and then we even thought about their dog. And so I'm sure we'll have some police officers out there directing traffic while we paint.
Great news.
Yeah. Okay, pickleball repairs.
I have not heard anything back. I'm kind of concerned that they might have shut down work for the new year. Because I had a meeting with a different contractor just yesterday, and this is their last week of work. I will continue to try and reach out to those two. But I did talk with Joey, and I would like to go out there myself, so if you want to schedule time to meet with me, that way you can point out exactly what it is that you're looking at. And then I can send in stuff that you're talking about, so they have a clear picture as to what you're concerned with.
Sure. If we can see the courts, I don't know, or snow and, but yes.
Well, and it doesn't have to be this week either.
Right.
Okay, park rules.
I spoke with Johnny before the meeting, I would like to recommend that we table park rules until we meet again next year. That way I can continue to look into surrounding areas and make sure that we're covering all of our bases. I know that, I don't know if it was Joni or if it was Brenda that sent us an article about the e-bikes.
Mhm.
So I did look into that, so I just wanna continue to look into it, I don't wanna miss any. So I recommend that, unless there's anything new that you guys have, that we just table it.
No, and I think it's a good time to really look into it and discuss it because, yeah, there's not as many people on the trails and in the parks as there usually is.
It might be good to kind of, develop somewhat of a budget for signs of how much it's gonna cost. If that has to come out of our regular budget. Cause you know, we have the 4 parks, right? And we have 2 trails, so if these are gonna overlap. The rules apply to both. On the signage, it would be nice to know how many signs we're thinking of the location, so. Maybe Caitlin, you could, circle back to the police officers that. Originally brought up their concern about, hey, we need a signage to help inform the public. About the park, so it might be good to get their specific location feedback of where the signs. Could do the most good. That they think. So that way, when we look at pricing for how many signs we need, after all the final touches have been done, that way we know, okay, we need this many signs, we know where they're gonna go. And everybody's happy with the placement,
Right.
what the words say, and the, you know, what the price is gonna be.
Well, and we kind of wanted to wait just to make sure that we've got all rules
Yeah,
the same, so that we don't print a sign and then like, oh darn, we should have put that on there.
yeah,
So we don't have to do it again.
yeah, I think it's really great what you found as far as the do's and the don'ts. I like the list of specific wheeled, wheeled,
Mhm.
devices. And, yeah, and then if we could clarify.
Look at the.
Maybe the plans for
that.
Yeah.
So do I have to make a motion for that or?
Okay, and then I did wanna just real quick ask about, from. The ARMCO, you reached out, but did they give any?
I reached out, so I'm not sure
Okay,
what these are gonna have on.
because that's another budget item that, I would like to know what the lighting option is, if it is a cheap option where the sign is visibly lit in the evenings. Or if we're gonna have to pay for.
That was kind of my thought, I didn't want it to slip through the cracks again, especially since it's so dark now.
Yeah, yeah, so
I
if we could-
asked him what he wanted, and he said, we wanted to order it on Amazon, or if we.
okay, well, we're not gonna do that, like,
Well, I'd be happy with a $50 set, that has.
it can be
this
ruined.
Lights.
We don't have a good track record with something that's. My opinion is this park is going to be the premier destination, which it needs.
Right,
Yeah.
but we need lighting now.
Yeah, we
And this
do.
is, the signage and everything will be redone, so.
Yeah, I get that, but like if it is a pole with a streetlight, that's an investment. And as opposed to just put a stake in the ground and,
Right, but we also have $50 versus 25. thousand.
Yeah, I know, that's why I'm saying, that's why I'm asking to clarify
Okay.
what our options are
Okay,
with Armco, because if they're involved, it is a more expensive option, I'm assuming. So. So anyway. that was
Okay.
that.
on to calendar updates, we sat down and we went through,
You have to make a motion to amend the agenda.
oh, that's right. Okay, I make a motion because this was not put on your agenda. I make a motion to amend the agenda to add an old business about talking about calendar updates. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we can amend the old business schedule and add the calendar discussion.
Yes. Do I have a second?
Second,
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. So, we met and had Ben and Caitlin and I, we met and we went over to nail down times and programs of where we wanted. And I did not print them out for you because we were starting with, we're still doing yoga in January at Town Hall. And then we were going to do a genealogy on Saturday, the 17th at 1 o'clock at Town Hall. And then we have all kinds of other things. We have card parties, we have line dancing, we have aerobics, we have beginning gardening. We have all these things, and then now it falls in, the police have to okay it. The town council will say yes, and then said, okay, but now it's up to the police, because the police want an officer in the building when any events are happening. And they can't guarantee that. So now it's negotiating with them, so that's why I didn't print you guys that one.
So wait a minute, is that a preference or is that a rule?
That's their,
The preference,
so we having to pay an officer now?
or this is just.
No, they're
on duty, they're regular. duty.
yes, and they would have an officer here, not here, but just in the building.
So do we need to move it to another place, like a church?
Well, and the problem is getting people to go to the other places.
Right.
You know, we've had things at other places before, but they come here. So here's,
Can I
okay,
ask real quick?
yes,
So Joni, if you had to circle 3 events that would be disrupted by this information,
mhm.
you're not talking about the Lions Park events. You're talking about events. that
No,
would happen
here.
Okay,
Yes,
just to
yes.
clarify.
Yes, I'm talking about,
So
So-
what are 3 events that you are seeing as a risk for possibly not going along because of this? I'm just curious.
okay, so the genealogy
Okay.
classes, the Valentine
Okay.
card making,
Mhm.
the second genealogy
Okay.
class, practically everything in February but yoga. The
Okay,
line dancing, we were going to have, the line dancing from February to March. And then when that's over, March 19th, on March 26th, we were gonna start 6 weeks of low impact aerobics.
okay,
And we're doing 6 weeks to see how it goes. If,
and this is
Yeah.
evening.
yes, yeah. And then, March. We need to start, if we're going to have garden beds. We need to start a plan for where we want the beds. And then Marcella is willing to do in March, where there's, you have to be outside. Marcella Champion can do a beginning gardening lesson. And we have that scheduled for here. Cleanup day would be no problem. Arbor Day, I mean, that's something already scheduled, but then the second, in April, we would need to start preparing the garden beds, digging them up, getting all that done. And then she could give it a second gardening lesson, but it would be nice to have it at Plains Park, unless it's too cold still in April. Then we would have to move it here. In May, we have yoga and family fun night, and then beginning gardening lesson 3 and planting, that's at Lions Park. June, we're good. July, we're good. Regular programs, unless the line dancing and the aerobics go well, then we might be here, so.
So could I ask, who is, now that was Janet Smith that originally
Yes.
talked about it.
Yes,
what
that's
she's
her,
done?
yes.
Because she's in Florida,
Uh-huh,
so she won't return until April.
Uh-huh.
Do you have her line density?
no,
Or do you
she
know?
didn't tell, no, she didn't tell me that, she just told me what days she was available.
She
So-
might not be around to do the line density.
So I can just switch her in aerobics, or put her later, even in the summer. Because if it's later in the year, she can do it outside, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's not gonna be here.
Okay.
I'm sure.
That's
Better, because she got me stuff to pass out in her neighborhood
Okay,
that was supposed to be out, before the primary, so.
no, she didn't, she just said, this is the time cycle.
Yeah, so I don't think she can even be in here
Okay.
in the winter.
Okay,
So I know that, and then who's doing aerobics, or who?
and then, well, that's it. We need people to do other things on other days. I can't be here if we get to use. I can't be here every Saturday to do this, so we would have to do that. And then in I was thinking that we might be able to have the Rainbow Bridge dedication in June. I know we could have it in May, but the guys are so busy and they're ramping up in April and May that I was thinking June would be a nice time, but that's up. That can be moved. And then, since we've separated a lot from the town events, I think that at Community Day and Trail and Treat and at Finest Mart, we should have a booth. Just the parks. And then everything else is pretty much outside for the year. In November, in October, we were gonna do, if the genealogy class was a hit, we were gonna do it again in October and November. And then I have big plans for 2027. So that's where we are on the calendar, which is pretty much at a standstill right now. So, we're gonna have to decide on, but that's between you and I. Because we need to start advertising the genealogy if we're gonna do it in January. So we need to figure out if we're gonna do that.
Are any of these things revenue generated?
No. But most of them
Here's my question, here's my,
cost us anything except
So the problem is getting a police officer here on a Saturday. Is that what I'm hearing?
It's not necessarily a problem. The town council passed, I believe, an ordinance stating that we weren't allowed to use this facility, like rent it out or anything like that. People were not to be in the building, like outside of normal business hours.
And that was several years ago.
Yeah, it's been like this for a while. That's why none of the HOAs meet here anymore. But ultimately, it would need to be, a staff member would need to be here. We're not allowed to give out keys to people anymore. So, a staff member would have to be here. And I think that it was a safety concern for there to be things going on in here and the officer not be on site.
So Patty is the genealogist.
Mhm.
So what do we know about her following?
Nothing.
Like, has she done like a group before?
Oh, yeah,
Certain days of the
yeah,
week?
I met her, I taught a beginning genealogy class at IUPUI. And that's where I met Patty, and we have been genealogy buddies ever since.
So when do most groups like that meet? Like, I'm just trying to get a feel for, like, when did most groups?
Well-
Successfully have like, oh yeah, I'm really interested in this, and yes, it's good for my schedule.
After Christmas, because for Christmas, they
Right.
get ancestry.com and new computers.
Okay,
So,
and so then like on the weekend, it is good for their schedule.
uh-huh.
Okay, so 1 o'clock.
The people that are interested in doing genealogy are, they've been with the wind. If they, if they're gonna have a free program available, they'll make it work.
Okay, so.
But a lot depends on the advertising. We gotta let people know that we're gonna be here.
Okay, when we're beginning gardening, you were thinking of Thursdays, right? Thursdays in the evening. So that's why it's outside of the business hours, right? I'm trying to just get a picture of what we got. So we got once a month Saturdays, 1 o'clock-ish, and we have Thursdays for gardening, like once a month, or more than that. What do you think? For gardening,
For gardening, this was just a once a month thing,
okay,
but I wouldn't be doing the gardening, so I don't
Right.
have any. And this was town hall. Are we having it at town hall?
yeah,
Is it,
that's where I'm trying to, I don't know what everybody else is thinking, I'm just trying to get an idea of like, for programming, like, what, time frame.
I have keys and codes to the funeral home down here. And, he's open for us to use the community room anytime. But we've tried it in the past and people have an aversion going down there
Yeah.
to do fun things.
Right, right. Could we use the green bean and try to just do a small group? I mean, they have
For what?
for, like, let's say the genealogy on a Saturday, do coffee, genealogy talk. And just kind of have a few tables, because I think a lot of these groups. They kind of say, who's showing up? Oh, but if you kind of show up in a place that's inviting and warm, and if they've never been in the green bean, maybe. Maybe it feels like, a
If they
place.
took over the Masonic Hall, yes. But
Yeah,
we're planning a much bigger
right,
audience than the green bean can handle.
correct, I know, but just to get it launched.
Uh-huh.
Is what I'm saying. So just to get a feel of who's interested. Sometimes they call them like a call out meeting,
Mhm.
you do a call out, you do, who's interested, and let's just meet and talk. And then
Mhm.
maybe from there, the group can decide, like, yes, we really want town hall, it would be convenient for us. So I totally support, believe me, I'm all about programming. I am a champion of programming. It's just, I want programming to work and to be efficient.
Well,
And
I've done genealogy for fun and profit
Yeah.
for a long time. And, one of the reasons that we picked after Christmas was because when they get,
Enthusiastic.
well, and they've been with their family and they've wondered, and then they've looked on the internet and they've got frustrated because they found out there's 15 Johns in their family and they can't figure out who's who. And, they come and they want help, and you never do any kind of genealogy stuff in the summer. So, because they're
Yes.
too busy doing outside,
So
so.
what do you need from us, Jody? What do you need from us for, like,
Well, if we get our places and we can do, if we get here and we can do it, I need warm bodies. Like the genealogy, you know, I would be here for the genealogy,
yeah,
but I need somebody, and, Joanna Hadley, I think it's her last name, is willing to do the Valentine's cards again. And then, but when we do the line dancing or the aerobics, I need somebody that can be here. And then the same thing with the gardening. And then cleanup day, we're all here anyway.
I need clarification on you, so you need somebody. I thought it was a police body. I'm a somebody, but I'm not a police body.
No, I need somebody from the parks board to like take over. I don't wanna mess with the garden project. So I need somebody to say, I'll do the garden project and I'll do the planning on it. That's the body that I need. The police, all they wanna do is be here just in case. They don't even.
well,
want
and
to
it
be
sounds like to
here.
open and close the building too.
Mhm.
So when you need a body for the garden, what are you saying? To make the advertisement, to, what, I need.
To do everything. I mean,
Do
just.
you already have a
to-
body of the person who's going to do this? Do you have a leader of this?
That's what I'm looking for.
You
The
don't
only,
have a leader.
no, the only leader, these were just ideas that we had talked about.
Okay,
And then, Marcella can do the gardening lesson, but she's not gonna dig or mark spaces or do any of that. She just wants to teach the people. She's a master gardener and she just wants to teach the people how to do it. So what we need is to figure out who's gonna do what, who's gonna be in charge of what. But we don't have to do, that's nothing that we do today. That goes into, we have a whole work session about that. And we add a couple of other things like the parks and the e-bikes, and we work on all that together.
Okay.
But, so that's why I didn't print this out for you. So the only thing that we have coming up really is finding a place for the genealogy. And, you know, we probably could do that at the church, but I don't want to do it at the church one time and then back another time. And, that's
I
it.
think if the town and the parks are sponsoring them, they need to be in this building. I do,
Mhm.
because I think if you have it at a church, like I mentioned, I think
Mhm.
the church is sponsoring it,
Right.
so.
And that's, I think, if Ben's on here, he kind of feels that way too.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm done with calendar updates unless you have any questions. So we can move on to new business. 2025 remaining budget.
Yes, you guys have $2,334.21 left in your part four project line for 2025. You guys had discussed purchasing a new bulletin board, so I did get a quote for that. It is $2,078.70.
Of course.
Go. They are cheaper than things, but not bad.
So is that something that we want to spend our money on, or did we have anything else that we?
So this is where the quote for the pickleball repairs would be very handy, because if the repairs are delayed, I feel that it would be a negative impact more than having a new sign. So if we could timely find some type of a quote that we can decide that the money is worth it to spend, to at least put it partial down. I would expect that we could get the repairs for close to this amount. Because it's not, the last time we did the surface was the whole surface was shaved down. The cracks were filled and everything was, of course, painted, sealed. This time, we're talking about putting in, you know, the crack repair and then basically painting it. So my input is that we wait and see if we can't get a quote and try to spend, you know, give the money towards the crack repair.
But my concern is that we're not gonna get it and it has to be spent this year.
I know.
And.
So I would-
mean, don't spend it, it goes back to.
Then can we at least look into what paint? That we could spend money on the actual color that barrier group used. If we could at least. If we could at least get the paint paid for, well, looked up so that it's exactly the color of the blues. There's two different blues. If we got the paint, we could at least have the.
Well, I will tell you, I have looked, I pulled it from the quote.
Yeah,
And it will not let me buy it. It requires a contractor. to
Okay.
buy.
okay.
So that's another concern.
Okay, so that's a barrier, because even if we have the guys mishmash, put some stuff in there, it's not gonna look good to not have the same color. So, yeah. I mean, like I said, if we can prioritize it for the January and February, that's fine. It's just, I want the contractor. Yes, we're gonna do the work. Yes, we've approved it. Yes, they've gone out and they do the work at least by April is my hope. April or May. Because once we get into June, you know, it's full on season, everybody will be out there. And it's hard for a contractor to put a lock on the, you know. on the
Well, but
door.
it's also hard to do work when the ground is still cold.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like. You know, ideally, we would have had the quote and we could have voted to say, yes, we want to repair the cracks. But as it stands, if our only, you know, and remind me again, where was this sign gonna go? Where was this other,
Thought we had talked about it going down at the Mount Comfort Road Trailhead,
so where
the parking lot.
yeah, there's the parking lot and then there's
Yeah,
the
that's-
shade structure, right?
Kind of
Where were you?
like where, like, you're in Cumberland area now.
Okay. So would it go on the other side of the shade structure? Because there is a trail signage there that shows what the trail looks
I don't know, I haven't got that
Okay.
far
like.
yet.
Okay,
It, there's a lot, you know, it sounds like, oh, we'll just put it here, but you've got to,
mhm,
there's things like some of the signs that we already have up were placed in a bad place. And they shouldn't have been placed like toward facing the sun and all kinds of
Yeah.
little things that we have to worry about, so. So Joy, I need to call for a motion if we're gonna. What is your thought? Wait,
Do you have any other priorities for?
right,
And we can't, we can't do our commitment, anything, but we have to spend it. So that I think we should go on. And then maybe some wildflower seeds to
Mhm.
finish off the rest of it, the 200, whatever it is.
Joanna's comment is as follows. I of course like the board because I do believe we're the queen over here.
Mhm.
However, I also think we need to take a look at the fact that there is no park bench between 700 and 600.
Okay.
When you get on the trail east of 700, you have no bench until you get to 600. So my thought originally was, is it possible to take one of the recycled benches that are by the music party and somehow put it midway? I don't know if you need concrete, but that was my other thing, but
Between 600 and 700.
yeah. There's only, the only benches, you have 3 of them at 600. You have 2 under the shade structure and 1 sitting out by the parking lot. And that is the only bench, those are the only benches between 600 and 700.
Sounds like we could take one from there and move it down too.
Well,
Would that
I'm
work?
not a bench expert, but the benches there, I think, are all bolted into cement. And I don't think they would sit on grass like the recycled ones.
Mhm.
Again, not a bench expert. So I don't know how much those benches were. I mean, here's the other thing. If you go on the other side of the fire station on 500, they have just wooden things, wooden structures that are benches just in the grass. I mean, nothing fancy, nothing.
Mhm.
But that's my other 2 cents. If you want to spend money or you want to move a bench or you just want to buy a board, I'm in favor of those, of course.
I do have one. Now that I'm like trail focused, now that, it seems to me there were some spots on, especially on Pennsy, that are rough,
Well, they're
where they're
terrible.
painted and as a hazard. Do those just get shaved down occasionally?
I'm not sure, I have to ask, I'm not.
And I don't know what kind of expense that is.
I don't either, but a trail person painted those.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Oh,
can tell you who did.
okay.
We did not paint those.
Oh,
He was forthcoming with his paint and roller to paint those.
okay. So perhaps for a spring task, that might be something. So I was gonna ask if that comes out of our budget.
We
Yes.
talked about that when we had our meeting, about there's a lot of little trail maintenance, like edges.
Right, I know all of that. I'm talking about concrete though, talking about the root.
Well, what's the thing? I think, one of the guys said, you know, yeah, they are roots. They can't
Yeah.
roll them, they can't mush them. They're there.
I know, but, so,
Why avoid them?
well, it is- but I just wondered, it popped into my mind, like, if there was a way to put some type of a permanent, smoothing out. We need a, we need a concrete specialist sometimes, right?
Well,
'Cause we're
I
dealing-
asked about the concrete for the bridge. It
Yeah.
has not been completed.
Yeah.
All right, Johnny, what are we gonna do? We're gonna buy a board?
Okay, so, is there a motion to spend a good chunk of our remaining money to buy a new information board that goes on the trail where our portion of the trail starts at 600.
I make a motion by board.
Do I have a second?
So,
All in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Will you order that, please? Okay, board member comments. Brenda, you're first.
Okay, well, then I will just lightly comment on the fact that, yes, the crack repair is the priority for first, first things that we can do in the new year. So I guess Caitlin and I will go out, we will, try to make a detailed account of what we need, and then she'll look into the quote, for as earliest as possible, so that we can vote on that and hopefully get that going in the new year, since we're going to have another humble board. I just wanted to ask about Ethan and the Eagle Scout project. Did he get out there and get anything done?
Oh, it's all done.
Is it all done?
Yeah, I've refilled it 3 times now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Great.
Yeah.
Get out
He's
there.
done for the most part, he has some temporary signage out there with the QR codes, but he did come in. A week after he completed the project and said that he is working to get more permanent nights. Cause it's just, it was just update.
Yeah, he printed it on paper and just
Okay.
taped it up.
Great.
But it still worked.
And so,
And it's short enough that children can get it to it, so.
Okay.
That was nice.
right, awesome. So yeah, I'm thinking of some things for the new year, but I'll just, one idea that I've got swirling around in here, but it's, youth pickleball. Because they do a youth, like a class, they have like one youth time a week out at the pickleball club that's inside. And so I thought, I bet those parents driving those kids over there to the pickleball center would like to have more time for their youth. Because if you're gonna invest in getting your kids signed up, having to put their name on the app, going to there, waiting for your child to play. Maybe they might like to have an open play time for you. So that, so
Where's
in
the
my
pickleball
mind,
Center.
it's on Shadeland and 16th.
Okay,
So I had the idea that possibly I might talk to the owner and the management there about Lions Park offering a youth dedicated coordinated play time. So for example, our evening times are basically adults. They're
right,
adult focused, not because we exclude kids, it's just that's when everybody's off work.
yes,
So, just know that I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna possibly just ask.
Okay.
So that might be just one new programming note.
Okay.
Just that. Okay, I'm done.
okay, Joanne.
You know me, here we go.
Yes,
We got Parkview Park in the town of Cumberland at the moment.
Yes, it is annexed into the town.
Okay, when did that happen? You know?
I think they had it annexed into the town before
Oh, we
they.
got it?
Before they began any kind of.
Okay, because of course, I love the park. The snow removal on the trail is awesome, however, the benches are not clear and you could not get to the benches at 600 or the one on the west side of 700.
Did they push the snow
Yes.
up against
Yes.
them?
Yeah. But they're doing a great job with the snow removal. That's wonderful. So I don't wanna, that one.
Yeah.
And back to the Skyhawks thing for the summer. Is that revenue generating for us? Well, if that goes, does the park department get money off of this?
It depends on how we go about it, when we had the soccer group that came a couple of years ago, the town was not interested in getting any funds at that time, it was all just we provide the area. You put on the programming, that way it kind of took us out of it. But I know that they're open to either way. Even staff is
Yeah.
open to either way.
Are we looking?
Yes,
Make
that's
money.
what I thought.
Yeah.
that We wanted was.
Yes,
You know,
I think
people-
especially, I think especially just taking. Taking a slow, gentle onboarding of revenue is kind of in my mind, like, oh, this went well. Oh, look, money. You know, but yeah, that's a good question. I think it should be, it should be a definite source, because hopefully people have a great experience and they want to pay again and again and again, and we get more and more.
I'm done, thank you.
Okay.
I don't have additional.
Okay, so I had the e-bikes, which we've already talked about. And didn't we pay for the mural? The park board paid for the mural that we had? Firefly,
No,
okay. I just wondered because we were all invited
Yes.
to the party, but we weren't mentioned in anything, so I thought.
no,
And-
they received a grant.
Okay,
They received two, I think it was 2 grants, but they didn't do it, and it covered.
okay.
We definitely voted though.
But we vote- yeah,
We wanted.
yeah. So were we left out on purpose, or do you think that was just a mistake?
I don't know.
Okay. Like, we were physically there, but like when they were thanking people, they mentioned the town council, but they didn't mention us in any press releases. We weren't in any of the press release. And we all worked really, really hard to push the parks.
I'll check on that. I'm not sure
Okay.
why that happened.
Okay, thank you. And then, a couple of things. In January, it's been over 8 years since we've had a meeting in January. Because we just don't have anything and we work hard the rest of the year. So, I want to suspend the January meeting, but in its place. Next year, this is what happens when I talk to Ben. Next year, we are having a whole new type of agenda. And so we want to have a work session to talk about the new agenda and to talk about things that we can go more in depth. And we're looking to do that with Caitlin in January. And that would be in place of our meeting. We could have it on our meeting day, or we could have it another day.
I'm in favor for that, to have the work session. In place of the meeting.
Okay. So we're skipping our January meeting and doing that instead. So do you want to give us a date now, which would be good for you? And I'd also like it to be a meeting that at least part of it that Ben could step into.
Yeah, there you go. So the 14th would be our normal time. Is anybody traveling? Anybody traveling? When are you traveling?
It would make it easier on me if you could give us like, just email 3 dates, times and say, what can y'all do?
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
Cause I have to move to North Meridian.
No.
Okay, so that looks like it. Caitlin, do you have anything you want to say? Okay, so do I have a motion to end the December Parks Board meeting.
Make a motion to end.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carried. There's no other business. This meeting is closed.
Go.